We're going to look at the brainstem respiratory centers. Breathing depends on repetitive stimuli from the brain. This happens because skeletal muscles cannot contract without nervous stimulation, and also because breathing involves many muscles acting together and therefore requires a central coordination mechanism. Breathing is controlled at two levels of the brain. The first is the cerebral and conscious. With this, we control when we inhale and exhale. The second is unconscious and automatic. With this type, we do not have control. We don't think about it. This automatic unconscious cycle of breathing is controlled by three pairs of respiratory centers in the reticular formation of the medulla oblongata and pons. There's one of each on the right and left sides of the brainstem. The two sides communicate with each other so that the respiratory muscles contract symmetrically. The first center in the medulla oblongata is the ventral respiratory group, or VRG. The ventral respiratory group is the primary generator of the respiratory rhythm. This is an elongated nucleus in the medulla with two commingled webs of neurons. These are inspiratory neurons and expiratory neurons, and they are also referred to as I and E neurons. The I neurons send signals to the spinal cord. These signals then go to the diaphragm by phrenic nerves, then to the external intercostal muscles by intercostal nerves. Contraction of these muscles causes inspiration. Meanwhile, while the I neurons are firing, E neurons are inhibited. When the I neurons stop firing, E neurons begin. When the E neurons fire, the I neurons stop, which allow the inspiration muscles to relax. When the E neurons stop firing, the cycle repeats itself. The second center in the medulla oblongata is the dorsal respiratory group, or DRG. The dorsal respiratory group modifies the respiratory rhythm to adapt to different conditions. The respiratory center in the pons is the pneumotaxic center, or now called pontine respiratory group, or PRG. This group modifies the rhythm of the ventral respiratory group. This group receives input from higher brain centers such as the hypothalamus, limbic system, and cerebral cortex, and sends output to both the ventral and dorsal groups. The pneumotaxic center adapts breathing to special circumstances such as sleep, exercise, vocalization, and emotional responses. I hope this video has been helpful.